And so hopefully we can make it a little bit more tangible, and hopefully also we can help people to appreciate the inequality that really exists in this country around educational opportunity, both within and across districts and over time.
Welcome to Education RX. And part of what we're trying to cover this season is what is the way, right? And inequity is definitely a problem. Is the concept of inclusion something that might help us bridge some of those inequitable situations? Is it one of the ways that maybe we can create more opportunity for kids to do some catch-up learning? And looking at these tests, we can see nationwide, there are plenty of kids who need catch-up learning.
That's for sure, right? The evidence is clear that the losses are substantial, and when compared to previous generations. You talked about inclusion, and I think that's certainly something that I believe can make a difference. I think that there is a challenge that again relates to increasing attention per kid in a classroom, related to class size, related to teacher training, and related broadly to funding. And I think, if we think again about the deserved federal support of education through the pandemic, and the fact that there isn't that continued urgency around it is what makes me concerned that we wouldn't be able to implement more inclusive policies that allow teachers, again, the training, the staffing, to give kids that support. So I think, to me, a lot of this sort of hinges on how much we value education and how much we're willing to fund it versus other priorities. There are going to be some tough trade-offs that at all levels of government, and I think there's only so much we can do to sort of wish or demand that teachers work more. And we shouldn't have to demand that without thinking about the supports that they are due. And that's where, again, I hope we can prioritize rightfully the support of teachers for all the practices that you've just described, right, are more for what we call educational accountability. And that's what you're describing as, by and large, the state's role in the past 20 odd years in education has been to hold teachers and schools and districts and states accountable, primarily at the school and district level. But also there's some self-accountability, if you will, for the state holding itself accountable and for the federal government reporting that in a transparent way. So who measures what and why there? Again, it's sort of the state and the federal government encouraging measurement of every kid every year, right? Why? Why do we do that? Right? We already have NAEP, as you suggested, that can measure state educational progress every other year. Why do we have to measure every kid every year?
What's the answer?
So we may not have all the answers, but we're looking for people who have a piece of the solution puzzle.
It takes all of us to turn things around. This is Education RX.